Facebook Live, here we go, live from the London show, MCN London show. Going to do something really different, which I haven't done before, is give a live stream on stage with the audience behind me. So I'm going to put her on the bike there, and then sort of show the stage, show the crowd, give it that feeling, you know. So you guys at home who can't watch it can watch what I'm going to say with Nathan, what we're going to talk about with Nathan on stage, and then give it a blast. So stay tuned. It's going to be live. I'm going to be chatting and going to be inspiring, hopefully. Nathan always asks a few tricky questions, so we're going to be on stage pretty soon. So I'm going to put the camera down, going to just let it keep rolling, and then so should be on stage in a couple of minutes. So you'll see me chat about inspiration, giving out freebies, and maybe do a little bit of a jump as well. So it's going to be great fun, and we've got a good crowd building. Ahead. So yeah. Morning. Hey, morning, Nick. Morning, Nick. How you doing, Rhys? You spelt my name wrong, Nick. You spelt my name wrong. That's good. I'm gonna like that. So anyway, I'm gonna put the camera down, get you all ready on the live feed, and yeah, enjoy. Rhys, watching live from Barbados. Oh, sick, Nick. Sick. I like it. From Barbados. I like it. Well, enjoy the sun, mate. It's actually nice and warm here in London. It's not as cold. So I wish you were here, Nick. I'd have a few beers. Hey, Rhys, you're a legend. Oh, you guys are wicked. I'm going to like all your things. Anyway, I'm going to put the camera down.
He'll start in a second, but I think if he's going to row his bike up, we'll give it a minute. What is he going to do? Slightly annoying when he starts. Yeah, exactly. Welcome to the adventure stage, sponsored by TomTom. Just to explain, like before Jackie's talk, we're a bunch of amateurs who happen to travel by motorcycle. I started off by travelling on the little 105cc Australian post bike back from Australia, and then rode that across America. And then I've met all these guys who all done interesting tricks on interesting bikes. And London Bike Show have kindly allowed us to have a corner slot to put on a presentation. It's quite an honour, privilege, pleasure even, to have Rhys Lawrey to the stage, who at the age of 22 rode around the world. So if we could give Rhys a round of applause, please.
It's a good crowd.
Okay, Rhys, tell us, how does a 22-year-old start off riding around the world? Where'd you get to that point?
Yeah, it's going again, right. So those who don't know, of course, as Nathan said, went around the world at 22. I'll try to speak as loud as possible over the noise. So 57,000 miles through 71 countries, left at the age of 22, and then finished at 24 years and 12 days old. So I did that for 2 world records, the youngest person to circumnavigate the world, and then most consecutive capital cities, so all on the Tiger 100, and that's sort of just what you said. But how I did it at 22, basically it started off when I was the 20 accent, I'm living in New Zealand. It was through my father Kevin Sanders, who owns Globusters. We never really lived together, and we wanted a father-son trip to ride together, have a father-son bonding time. And so he was running a tour from London to Bangkok, And so I thought, why not join in, have a bit of father-son time, and then that developed from, and this is when I was 21 years old, and then that developed from riding from London to Bangkok and then onwards around the world. Up until that point,
you and your partner spent 6 months together, living together. You know, up until the age of 21, you'd only sort of been 6 months together in the same country at one time.
Yeah, I mean, the parents split up when I was younger, when I was born, and only really lived with them for 6 months. And so, of course, having that father-son trip from London to Bangkok was the drive, and that's how it really started. And then, of course, one idea led to another. And Dad also has 2 Guinness World Records, and so I thought, continue on, join the family clan, and then get a couple of world records myself at a young age.
But you weren't a motorcyclist, you weren't a motorcycle traveller, you were working in a bar as a barman in
Tom Cruise,
in New Zealand.
Yeah, I was never, I mean, I'm not a big bike mechanic, but I have a passion of travel, always have. I was moving around with the bar. I was never in the scene really until, we wanted this father-son trip, and then thought, you know what, we got the idea, we led from one to another, like I said, and moved to England. So,
and you were at a bit of a junction in your life. You had the opportunity to turn right and do this trip around the world, or take a job in Las Vegas at a bar. And how big a decision is that at the age of 21 to decide to go around the world, or to take a job with a bit of security and a bit of, I don't know, financial income?
Yeah, I guess everyone here really, I mean, they reach a point in life where you get I call it a T-junction. Yeah. And that's what I did. When I was in New Zealand, about 3 months planning the trip, again at 21 years old, it's quite impossible really, financially and all that sort of stuff. And so of course I reached a point where I had a job opportunity in Vegas to go work in a bar, flip bottles around, make cocktails, earn lots of money and tips. But I decided, I thought, you know what, I'm going to sacrifice that. Sacrifice is the big thing, and I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take the risky path, and go ride around the world. And that was because I was given the opportunity. The opportunity was there. And that's where, and I always say, I use the quote which my mum gave me when I was trying to tell my mum at 21, you mothers out there, I'm sure if your boy was about to go around the world at 21, it's quite a scary thing. But my mum said to me always, when I told her, hey mum, I'm going to go right around the world, she was quite like, you have nothing to lose. There's the Vegas job, jobs can come and go, we can all get a job one way or another. And whereas this opportunity to do a trip, to do world records, and to inspire other people is something which was, and that was the decision. I got to a T-junction and said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do the norm. I'm not going to follow the norm. I want to do something original, something unique at my age, and see the world. And that's where I thought, I dropped everything. I had a girlfriend, I dumped her.
Heartless man.
No, but it's okay, we're back together. We're back together.
I guess the perfect question then is, how do you go around the world and have a young lady wait for you?
I don't know. You're going to have to ask her that. Why she waited, I don't know, but there you go.
And what do you think the advantages and disadvantages are of doing such a big trip at such a young age?
It's a real 50-50, I think, doing a trip at a young age and doing a trip when you're older. I mean, really, I find there's 2 windows, really, isn't there? And when I work on the Globebuster stand speaking with people, is when you're younger, of course, you're vibrant, you're energetic, you're quite naive, actually. You're away from all the dangers. And so, of course, you're willing to just jump into it. That's hence why I do the jumps around the world, because it's trying to show, you just jump into it and you go do it. Whereas you're a bit older, you're a bit more, should I do that? Probably shouldn't do that. And there's things like that. And it's a very 50-50 thing. I mean, because when you're younger, you don't have the financial, you don't have the experience, the life skills. Whereas when you're older, if you do it when you're older, so you've had your kids, you've done your career, you've done your job, then you've got other obstacles, different obstacles to succumb to make sure you can do your own trip. And that's where it's sort of you weigh it up. And I weighed it up and thought, you know what? I either do it now because I got the opportunity, or I go and do the norm and do the job and marry the girl and have a kid maybe, and and all that. And then in 20 years' time, I then think, oh, actually, you know what? I'll probably do that world trip that I talked about 20 years ago.
I like the method. the method of funding the trip was...
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know if anyone follows there. I mean, of course, people think, I'm quite sponsored, because it was a sponsored trip. It wasn't a fully sponsored trip, as in I got paid.
You got the gear, basically.
I got the gear, I got the bike. And that's the thing is people, people look at me and think, it's sponsored trip. But actually, really, how I paid for it, and again, a lot of you all here are thinking, how does a 21, 22-year-old pay to go around the world? And if you're a banker, please shut your ears. I basically got credit cards. I really did, and I'm still paying off the trip now. Me being at the show here is paying off that trip because we lean back to the bar, and that's why the bottles are on the back of the thing. I used to do Tom Cruise. I was a manager at 19 years old, Port Fellows Bar, given a 19-year-old management. But it was that passion there of, I had a job, I had a career, I had a good thing. I went to the bank and said, you know what? I already had a credit card. And of course, again, it's that I looked at the responsibility and I thought, you know what? I don't have a kid, I don't have a mortgage or a house. So of course the bank's man, he's like, yeah, go on, here's $4,000. Yes. And of course I was living in New Zealand, so I got a New Zealand credit card. I then came to England and got an English credit card. And then I went to Tesco's and got a Tesco's credit card. I played the system pretty well, and that's how I paid for it. And I put it all on. I came back after the trip. I got a big loan. I call it my student loan, because of course, again, I'm young. I'm a student. My mate, he's gone to university. He's got the same amount as me, but of course, a student loan. I got a loan, paid off all the credit cards, and now I'm paying it all off like every other youngster. But I've traveled the world.
I like your honesty as well, because you weren't going to university. You had no interest in that. Dyslexia? Yeah. So your career was barman, and then
I still work behind the bar. I work behind the bar now. I'm back working behind the bar. People think, how do you pay? I haven't come up with books because, as you say, I can't read and write. I left school early, but I'm a hands-on guy. When I got the job done, and that was the thing. And it's the passion, it's the drive, and that's what I use. And that's where something different. And that's where I started the whole world trip to inspire younger people to do what they want to do, not to ride around the world, but just to go do what they want to do. Because I'm not very good at academic, but you give me something physically to do, and that's good. There's people out here who's probably very strong academically, which is good. I want doctors and lawyers, well maybe not a lawyer, but I want a doctor and a dentist. But you see, it's that difference, and it's about doing what you want to do. And whether it's ride Africa, these people, fantastic other travellers, whether it's ride Africa, whether it's cycle, whether it's hike, whether it's, there's some people here I've spoken to, I've always wanted to go abseiling. Go abseiling. What's holding you back? Only you, because there's always a way. And that's why I did this big trip, because I did the big trip to say, you know what, a 21-year-old can make it possible. Even though it had credit cards, even though it had some sponsors, I still made it possible, and I still went and did it. And that's why.
Do you think it's that get it done attitude that helps you on the trip around the world?
Yeah, get it done, and the people around you as well, loved ones. I mean, like I said, I go back to my mum. My mum stood there and she gave me the speech and said, still remember the words, like I said, she said, you don't have anything to lose other than yourself. So go do it. And that's the thing. It's the drive, it's the passion. And everyone can tell, the people around you will be able to tell if you're passionate about something. If they truly love you and you truly want to do it, then they should let you do it, or at least help you.
And so what's that?
He was quiet now. He was quiet.
So what now? I mean, where do you go from that? You've been around the world at 21. Do you try and top that? Do you try and better that? Do you just accept that it was what it was and find a new life? Or?
Well, I guess you can answer this as well, Nath. I mean, we're very similar on the case. I mean, I come back, and of course, like I said, I got a loan to pay, a student loan, as they call it. Makes me feel better. I got that to pay off. And of course, when I try to go back to the roots of when I first started this, and I don't know who's been following me, but I call it the Tomorrow Rider. I do the fun stuff with the self, and I'm trying to continue that, because what better way to inspire people and younger people, and everyone really, and to generate it. And that's why, like on Tuesday, my YouTube channel, my Around the World series comes out, in the episodes, and people can watch it on Tuesday.
I think what's interesting is there's often a misconception when people do the big trips thinking especially when it's sponsored, that there's money involved. And I think the reality is that very few people put money into people doing this. They won't say, here's 10 grand, 20 grand going around the world. What they'll do at best is give you basic equipment. And I think what people don't always accept or realise when they're asking for sponsorship or help is how much you have to give back to that sponsor. And is that what you found?
Yeah, I mean, I get contacted quite a bit from people, probably once a week. I get someone asking for advice for trips, you know, and I give it, you know, and I do get the odd one that is about sponsorship, because of course people do say, you know, oh, I'm thinking of doing a trip, I see you got sponsored, how do you get sponsored? And really, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt, because firstly you've got to say, firstly, do you need it? And those are the two questions. Firstly, if you're going to go to get sponsored, it's like, do you need it? If you need it, do you want it? Because as you said, you've got to go on the road, you've got to, essentially, we've all been on a job interview, right? We've all had a job interview. And it's essentially that, is you're going to work for the company that is sponsored for you. They want something back. And that's the thing, is you've got to give them something different, you've got to give them something unique, you've got to give them something energetic and good. So the media man, the marketing man goes, you know what? I'm gonna give him some stuff. Or I'm gonna promote this guy. And you know, and I get it all the time. And another comment is you know, forget money. If you're gonna get it. You don't I didn't get money. You forget it. That's the number one tip as well. Expect nothing, and then whatever you get is a bonus.
So what would you advise to people who possibly don't have the opportunity, albeit by other commitments or whatever, to do around the world trip? What would you advise to somebody who's got a weekend or a week or 2 weeks? What would you say to somebody who's uncertain of getting out on a bike?
Well, uncertain, I mean really the number one advice I give to anyone is get a whiteboard. And that was if we're going to go talk about the very first step of what I did on my world trip, is I got a whiteboard. A great big thing about this big, you know, about yay there, and I started to get a whiteboard, and I literally wrote, and I've got photos of it, and I wrote around the world trip. Circle, a little line, and a little line. That was the very first action. I do say, get a whiteboard, you know, or write it down, or scribble it out. And I started to read and write, so a whiteboard was fantastic, because I could just rub it out and then rewrite it, you see. And so that would be my first step, was just that brainstorming, because that is the first step. You see, that's the first step. Rather than saying, oh, I'm going to do this, oh, I'd love to do that, oh, if only my wife let me, oh, if only I had time to do it. It's like, there is always a way. If you're passionate, you're dedicated enough, there will be a way to find a way. And the first step is in here, because your actions are followed by your thoughts.
I like what you say, in the green issue, we're getting into, I mentioned an interview with Rhys, and he talks about the sacrifices, and I think that's important for people to realise, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, a big trip don't come easy, a small trip don't come easy. There's always some things you have to give up.
Yeah, and that's another major factor, sacrifice. People don't realise the sacrifice. I mean, you know, what were you doing at 21, 22? And this is what I tell people. You know, what were you doing at 21, 22? A lot of people, you know, they come and go, oh, well, I was getting drunk and, you know, being naughty and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, whereas, of course, like, it's going back to sponsorship. I had to portray myself mature. I had to take away the 21, 22-year-old that maybe, you know, get drunk and pop wheelies and all this sort of stuff, because, again, that company's putting a badge in your face. To get it done, I had to sacrifice part of that, and that was the big push. And it's anything takes sacrifice. You know, I dumped the girlfriend. That was a sacrifice. She was a very good girlfriend.
She was relieved, though, wasn't she?
I mean, she's really good, because she came back to me. I mean, obviously she's good. So, of course, but that was a sacrifice. And again, it's all that sacrifice. You know, I could have just been working in a good job in Vegas, getting bucket loads of money, flipping bottles, making cocktails. And yet, I sacrificed that, and now I'm in big debt.
Living the dreams. Has anybody got any questions for Rhys while he's up here? I mean, maybe somebody's planning on a trip.
I do have freebies to give away as well. Just, you know, good freebies.
Actually, just a quick question before the engine's rev.
Yeah.
The big challenge with a big trip is documentation, visas. I mean, just share the process involved in getting a bike. You know, it's all right to sell the dream of riding around the world, but the practicality is a lot of documentation, it's a lot of visa applications, a lot of paperwork. How difficult is that? And off-putting even?
Well, again, it depends where you're going. I mean, I went to China, and China's very raw, very, you know, not a lot of people have gone through China. And if you're going to go through China solo, it's hard to go through China solo. So you need to go with a group. Because you need a group, you need a local tour guide, you need a fixer, everything needs to be pre-planned, that sort of stuff. So whereas actually today and age, I mean, you guys are all here, there's all these other adventurers, they all have tips and advice, but we live in a day and age, like I do, with Google. I mean, Google, just Google. I mean, it's amazing. Google, we live in a world where you can Google something, and there's the answer. And there's so many people out there that have experience, and they can share that experience, like myself, like Nathan. You know, Nathan can give you advice on how to do a trip for 2 days. I can give you advice on how to plan a trip in world records in a year.
I'd say, tell us about the freebies now then, what have we got? Because Rhys, I mean, the comeback after a big trip like that and paying off the debt is always the hard thing. Rhys has done really well, he's got himself, like working harder to help him out there. There's people still here at the back. Yeah. So Rhys works with Sparta to help develop adventure clothing, which is quite unique because it's hard to believe that most clothing manufacturers don't actually speak to riders of motorbikes before designing motorcycle clothing. So they've actually got Rhys on board to come up with...
These are Sparta hats.
Sparta hats.
I work with Sparta and I'm trying to create, again, youth, trying to promote youth. Now again, it's youth and safety on motorcycles, just trying to bring out good equipment, good clothing, and affordable. I mean, there's gear out there which is $2,000. How is a 20-year-old going to afford $2,000 kit? That's why I joined forces with Sparta to try and bring out my experience, to bring out my knowledge of gear and how, you know, to make it affordable, safe, so young people can. Oh, look, you can keep throwing them out as well. You know, and so that's the thing. It's not just inspiring people to you know. Just inspiring people to go and do a trip, but it's also to inspire younger people that they can make it possible, and that is with gear, you know, and that's why I teamed up with Sparta, and Sparta teamed up with me, and it's brilliant. It's coming up with gear, it's coming up with all sorts. Now, I do have 2 special presents, but of course I'm all about youth. Now, do we have any youngsters in? There's one here. I got a special, Here we go. A Sparta bag for you. I got one more.
Yeah, chuck down here.
We got one down there. We got a nice, a tomorrow rider. This is a tomorrow. You are a tomorrow rider. Here you go, my man. You are a tomorrow rider. See the world, ride safe, and be good.
Any questions for Rhys while he's up here? Well, he'll be here tomorrow, but I think
I'll be here tomorrow.
But any questions now while he's up here? Yeah, quick one.
The 800, but what do you find with big bikes? Do you prefer smaller bikes or larger 1200s?
The question everyone asks, the debate that everyone has, small bike or big bike. Really, any bike can do a trip. Bottom line is, any kind of bike can do it. You know, again, I sit here, I love standing next to Nathan, because Nathan took 2 days to plan his trip and did it on a postie bike. I took a year and a half to plan a trip and did it on a Tiger. It's fantastic, I love comparing that. But I mean, I wouldn't choose anything else because the 800 is good. I wouldn't go bigger, I wouldn't go smaller. I mean, it depends. Go smaller, it depends what you're doing, where you're going, the comfortability you want. You know, how much of a challenge do you want? You know, if you were to go into the real wilds of the forest and the mountains where there's no roads, there's bulldozers, there's rocks, you're going to want something a little bit lighter. You're going to want a little 250 or a 450, you know, which can bounce around, you can pick up and drag away. Whereas, of course, I knew I was doing thousands and thousands of miles. So I needed something durable, that can go the distance, that is reliable as well. Because again, like I said, I wasn't a mechanic at the start, I wasn't a racer when I was younger. So I wanted a bike which won't break. And I knew the Triumph wouldn't, and I thought the 800 is perfect. It's a big bike, it's a small bike, it's a medium bike, yeah. So it's actually I find it a very hard question because it depends what you're doing it for. What you're doing it for, where you're going, and how you're going to do it.
I think it's fair to say there's pros and cons with any bike. Yeah. Small bike, there's pros and cons. Medium-sized bike, pros and cons. Large bike, pros and cons. Whether you carry, whether it's 2 of you, 2-up trip, or whether you do a lot of off-road.
Yeah, I mean, if I was to do a 2-up and you're on a GS, if I was to do a 2-up, I'd probably go at 1200. You know, to make sure the missus is nice and comfortable.
And then we've got people like Bruce Smart who took a GSX 1000 around the world. They did a lot of off-roading. I mean, so yeah, it's one of them. Any bike can do it. It's just where the compromise comes. Sometimes it's in getting tyres, sometimes it's in the cost of the documentation.
Exactly.
The vehicle's expensive. It's why, I mean, it's still a lot of people doing it on mid-sized, cheap older bikes, aren't they? Generally, the DRZ 400s and things like that still quite a popular bike for around the world travel because it makes it cheap.
Exactly, and as you can see here, there's all sorts of bikes. You know, there's even a sidecar, so it is possible. It's just where you're going, how much comfortability you want, and you know how much you can put up with.
Yeah. Any other questions for Rhys while he's here? Can we have a massive round of applause for Rhys, please?
I'm just going to do one last thing, my finish jump. I did this around the world.
I'm going to stand back.
I did a foot tap. If you haven't seen it, I'm known for it. It's my ID. I basically did a jump and how you think I do that, I don't do that for like 50 times and then get the right one with my feet together. I usually get a GoPro put on there. I have it on the burst mode. If anyone ever has a GoPro, I put it on like 50 photos in 1 second. I have a little controller in my hand. It's not around there, but got it. And then usually, imagine a nice, I don't know, Patagonian mountain here. The bike's there, and I think this is perfect, right? I'm going to set the GoPro up, I go along, and I think, I jump around the world, and I go 3, 2, 1, then later in the evening, I select the one photo where my feet are together. So, this is how it goes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks ever so much, Rhys. We've got talks on all day. The riders of all these bikes are going to talk throughout the day. There's a schedule at the back. Please pick up one of the orange and the green magazines. They are different. The green one has got the stories from everyone here today. The orange one has got stories on Scotland and Wales, so they're free, so please take those. I believe next up, if somebody could confirm, I think it's Bruce Smart. Bruce is a London policeman who took a bit of a year off to ride 75 miles on a GSX 5000.
How you all doing? Facebook Live, thanks for joining in. Almost going to lose my voice there, but on stage, and it's been brilliant. It's been brilliant. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I've had fun. You've had fun. I've given out freebies. Hopefully you've inspired, given a good speech, given a good chat, and yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. You can re-watch it. Be good. See you guys.